night sky lit up your eyes. I could barely breathe no matter how I tried. I held you close
Right,
just to
so
keep
this is
you.
part two of the other video. So my next pregnancy was in 2005. I met this wonderful guy, and we well, I don't know, we liked each other, but I wasn't about a relationship, and I wanted to be me. And for a long time, after being in so many relationships, well, not so many, two relationships for a long period of time, I finally got out of a relationship, and I wanted to just be by myself, get to know me once and for all, and just do my thing. So I met this guy, and I'm like, listen, we can deal whatever the case is, but I don't really want a relationship, so just leave it as is and let that be. So eventually, as we got to know each other, we decided to not have unprotected sex. Because I'm like, yo, you don't get pregnant, we were clean, whatever. So we decided to do that. Then I guess like 2 months into it, Gaudy, I there, and I got sick. Every time I am pregnant, I get sick. Like for a whole month, I completely get sick. My body, everything hurts. I don't know what is up with that, but every single thing hurts me. So I got sick for a whole month. Now at that time, there was this flu that was going around from some mosquito. What was it now? Not dengue. Uh, I can't remember. I thought it was that flu. Let's call it dengue for now, but it's not dengue. And we were there, and my hand hurt me, so I went to the doctor. I had to get a cast up. My foot hurted me, and I sick as heck at home. My body, everything hurt me. I got a cold. Everything is hurting. So I am home from work for a whole month, and I was like, what the heck? So then eventually, I'm like, hmm. So your period didn't come. You don't miss periods. Your period's always on time, like white corn rice. So what is up with that? So I was at work. So I called my mom and was like, Ma, I don't know. I think I'm pregnant. Could you bring me a pregnancy test? And she brought one for me. And I took it. I said, I'll let you know. So I went into the bathroom, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is weird. This is going to be hella weird if I'm pregnant. So, because I thought I wasn't pregnant, so I'm so excited. And I went and I took the test, and I'm there. I'm like, oh my god! So then one line appeared. I'm like, okay. So then half of a line, another line appeared, and I'm like, and then another one appeared. I'm like, whoa! You are pregnant, and you thought you couldn't get pregnant. This is amazing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this is weird. I don't know this guy. I don't even watch relationship. What am I supposed to do? So I'm like monologuing in my head. And I'm like, okay, what do I do? Calm down. You're excited. Are you even ready? Yes, you're ready. And I'm there. And I'm just having beer dialogue. And I call my mom. I'm like, Ma, I'm pregnant. She's like, oh wow. My mother don't get excited for nothing. Like seriously. You're annoying, Ma. Why you don't get excited for anything? So she's like, okay, well good. Alright, no problem. I was like, alright, Ma. I said, you excited? She's like, yeah, you know. Like, alright. So then I call the guy, which is my current boyfriend, and I'm like, yo, so I got something to tell you. He said, okay, so you could go in a quiet place? Like, alright. So I was like, I'm pregnant. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. So what do you think? So he's like, well, I excited, and yeah. I was like, okay, so I can see you later. We can talk about it, right? So yeah. So we hang up, and I call my friend, and I told her. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's for the guy. I'm not telling you his name. And yeah, I mean you. I'm not telling you his name. And then she's like, okay, so you guys are ready? I'm like, girly baby here. You need to be ready for it. It can come. So yeah. So I went home, and I straight to the doctor. Went to the doctor, tell him I think I'm a month pregnant, and he's like, here, prenatal this, prenatal that, whatever. This is your guide, etc., etc. So I got my prenatals. I did all my blood tests. Everything came out well, and that month I was actually moving too. So I moved to a different location, and I tried my best not to do a lot of stuff during the pregnancy, because I remember the last time, but I wasn't even thinking about the last time, because the last time was, I guess, whatever they told me happened, and for me, this is a shit. So we went through the motion and the same sick thing, and I couldn't stand sense, and I didn't want to eat a lot of crap, and everybody's all shocked, like, whoa, you're pregnant. Yeah. So during that time, we went to a few checkups. Everything was doing good with baby. Went for our ultrasound. I'll put the ultrasound there. And this one was a boy. And we got a checkup, and they said, well, he's too young for you to know who he is, so you'll have to wait a little. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So we went home, and during that time, the night that it happened, him and I was talking, and we decided to, after our 3 months, because 3 months were up, we decided to write in this book that we got this ancestry book. So we started to write down what mom said when mom found out, what she would like, and a few things. I'll post the type of book that we had there, and we decided to write in it, and he wrote and I wrote. And for that night, my back was hurting me, and I was like, oh my god. So I thought it was air, so I got some tea, and then the next morning we decided to do the nasty. And during the course of the nasty, I'm like, yo, things feel slippery. It feel extra slippery. Like, that don't feel right. So when he moved and I moved and I got up, every water just started flooding on the ground. And I'm like, not again. Seriously, not again. That was my exact reaction. I'm like, what the hell? So I went to the toilet, and he's like, what? I'm like, just broke. And he just shattered, just fall on the ground. And I'm there in the toilet like, damn. So me now, he's calling me Sheldon. Because I full logical mode, I don't really react until everything's done. You know what I mean? If you tell me a problem, I'm not going to react then. I'm not be like, oh my gosh, why this happened? No. I'm all solution. I'm like, okay, so that happened. What about we try this route? Do this, do that, do that. So that's what happened. So I'm like, okay. So I'm about to have another miscarriage or a miscarriage, and we have to get to the doctor. So he's there, and he's shattered, and I'm shattered. I'm going inside, and I'm like, damn. So I started to cry. I'm like, jeez, but it's not again. This is messed up, man. So I'm crying, and then he started to cry, and then I stopped crying, and then I start back crying, and then he stopped crying and comfort me, and then he started back crying, and I stopped and comfort him, and that's how we went. No, it happened about 2 in the morning, and then we there crying for like 3 hours or so. So 5 we got up. I called the lady and I said, hi, I can't come to work. No, I went across to her and I said, hi, I can't come to work. I have to go to the doctor saying that my water broke, so I need to see what happens. And she said, okay, no problem, take care, I hope everything goes well. So I got home, I packed to go there, and someone picked me up, and we went to collect my boyfriend, who then went to work, and we came there. So when I got there, he was all sad, and we got into the car, and then I went to the doctor. So my mom lived next door, so I went to my mom and I collected her keys to stay there. So when I went to him, he checked me. He's like, yeah, you don't have a lot of liquid in there, so you'll be having a miscarriage. I'm like, jeez, betters. So he said, here, we'll give you this pill to insert, and it'll cause you to contract. So I was like, alright, so push it in, and we went home, and we were there. Now, my boyfriend, he was in shock from the moment we found out. See, he hasn't uttered a word. So I am there, and he's in shock, and I'm there making all the decisions, So I'm like, yeah, no. So we got to my mom and sit down. He's there. I'm like, listen, I going through this too, so you kind of got to snap out of it. I kind of need support right now. I can't be supporting you right now. I can't make all the decisions. It's unfair for me to make a decision about our child, and he's about to die. So yeah, kind of snap out of it. So he snapped out of it, and I'm like, I'm hungry. So he went and he got me something to eat, but the doctor specifically said not to fall asleep. He went and got me something. So he's like, you're going to stay awake? I say, yeah. I said, okay, I'll call somebody. So the first person in my phone happened to be a friend who Just make me laugh all the time. So I said, good, I'll call. So I call and say, yo, girl, what you up to? And she's like, well, I ain't doing much. I said, well, I don't want to tell you this until later because I didn't really want a big fuss. But right now, I'm having a miscarriage and I'm in a lot of pain and I'm not supposed to sleep. My boyfriend just went to get some food. And so you gotta keep me awake. So she's like, oh my gosh. So nope, react later, you gotta keep me awake. So we spoke and then he came back and said, alright, he's back, I gotta go, gonna get something to eat. So while we're eating, you go through the phase where you get cold and start to get really cold and the pain start to hit. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I started doing walls. So we put on music and he started to dance with me to get the pain out. And eventually we walk over to the doctor and I'm like, this pain is a lot. He's like, I know. And then he checked me. He's like, you're not much dilated, you have to go back. And did you take out the pill? I'm like, yeah, because there's a lot of pain. He's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. So he gave me another pill and went back home. So we got back home, the pain was crazy. Then my mom came home like, ma, I'm hungry, make me fudge. I ate so much fudge during my pregnancy. Fudge is milk. So a lot of people who are out there know where this story is going to know the cause for certain things. So I ate a lot of fudge. So I'm like, ma, I need fudge. So she made me some fudge. And eventually I'm like, yo, it's getting really, it's 5 something. Let's go across to the doctor and see what happened. So when we get across, the doctor's like, I've been calling you. We've been waiting for you. I'm like, oh, sorry, we didn't get the call. So he rushed me in. And we take off the pajamas, he helped me out, he told my boyfriend to wait outside and things. He's like, I have to give you this injection. I'm like, seriously? So he gave me this injection and this freaking thing burned. I'm like, what type of injection is this that burns the hell out of my butt? I'm like, what the hell? So I am there and whatever he gave me, all of a sudden here, and I felt something happen. So we went on the table and he's there, and the doctor that I went to is a private doctor. He did this himself. Yeah, I didn't have to go to the doctor. I did not want to go to the big hospital that we have here. They're a bunch of shit. So I then go to another doctor. So we did it at his private clinic. So I went to the table and he did the big cleaning out. Now, this is not where he can numb you. You're not numb. The procedure that I had, I was not really numb. I can legit feel him in my womb scraping the walls, big man. And it felt so uncomfortable. And I'm like, what the hell? So it wasn't like I can feel like you feel like your skin coming off. It was kind of numb, but you can still feel the sensitiveness. So the baby came out and I was drowsy as hell. I was still awake. And the baby come out and he's taking the centuries, making sure that everything is clean and well. And we were there and I'm like, oh, this is really hurting. So we were there and my boyfriend's trying to keep me, take my concentration from there because it was starting to get really uncomfortable. And my mom came across and she came and she's there and I'm holding them and I'm trying to stay strong. And she is like, well, I'm like, ma, the food done? Because I'm still hungry. So everybody started to laugh and they're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're going through this and you want food. I'm like, yeah, because I'm hungry, I want food. So we're there and I am as usual cracking joke in an uncomfortable situation as usual. So I eventually finished and my boyfriend went to get the car to take me home because it was a little late. I think it was after 7 at that time, after everything was done. And when I got up now, and this is why you can move now, and I got up, I was like, I want to see him. And they're like, the nurse is like, no, and the doctor's like, no, I'll never see him. So I saw him, and he was so tiny, and he was so formed, like he had form, he was still a kid. He was a human being, but translucent, and that broke my heart. So I started crying, I got out of the chair, and then my boyfriend came, and I hugged him. Then I started crying again, and he's like, what happened? What happened? Like he was ready to beat somebody type of thing. And Mom's like, she saw the baby, and she's like, oh, so he hugged me and took me home. I got my food, well, took me by my mom, but she was around the corner from the doctor's office. and I got food, and I went home, and the doctor told my boyfriend, well, take out the tampon, don't let her leave it, it could cause her infection. So when I got home, he took me home and he did what the doctor told him to do and got me dressed again. Yes, men, yeah, you should get with the program. So he undressed me, make sure that I took it out, put all my stuff for me, get me dressed again, put me in bed, and I slept. So the next day now, he left to do something. Man, oh man, yeesh. Where you come from though? Damn it. It's a lucky here. Lucky here. So, right, so we got dressed. I'm gonna put you down. I'm put you down. I'm going right now. Because so do not make that fall. Bye. Go. Thank you. Right, so the next morning I got up and I'm like, damn it, I don't have my kid. So I called mom and I was crying again. I'm like, jeez, I can't believe it happened again. She said, you have to be strong. You can't cry because you're going to get sick. And mom is always telling me this. I'm like, ma, you need to stop that. I cannot help myself. I just lost my kid again. So you kind of need to stop saying that. So when he came back, I was bawling. I mean, it was hella bawling. And he hugged me and said everything's going to be okay and everything's going to be fine. So my boss called me the next day. She's like, how did it go? So I told her. She said it's going to be okay. And she continued to check things every day to make sure that it was good. So I'm so very grateful that she did that. And within 2 weeks or so, I stopped bleeding. Like, this doctor is the shit. That's why I always go to him. Like, I went to a big hospital. 8 weeks I was still being the little idiots. Leave any placenta, and this man make sure that he, no matter how uncomfortable it was for me, he made sure that everything was good. So he told me, come back tomorrow and let me see. So I went back that day, and my boyfriend niece assisted me, and she went there with me, and he said everything is going well, everything looks good, there's not much going on. So I had to go through the big cleaning again. Who invented that thing? So you had to push that thing in. What is the name of that thing? It is the most annoying tool in the world. I'm gonna put it there. Oh my gosh. So he inserted that annoying tool and made sure that everything looked well, everything was well, and then he said, alright, we'll go home, take these antibiotics and drink them, and everything's good. Now, I am not good at taking antibiotics. I will take them for a good few days and then done. They're not my thing. And well, we found out the reason why. So I got home and everything was well. I went through a little motion, and I was backing up in the world. I was like, alright, so 6 weeks to heal. You gotta eat right and get back to work. So my 6th week came, and I made sure that I moved out. I stayed at my boyfriend for a few months. Instead of staying home, I have my cats at home. I had my cats at home, so he would go periodically or every day because he works in the area and feed my cats and make sure that they were good. And that was that. So I guess 2 weeks or so into it, I went home. And when I got home, my cat was also pregnant. And she had gotten these 2 beautiful black and white kittens. And I was so very happy. It made me cry because I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you were pregnant and you were here alone. So I made a little home for her, and she put her little babies in there, and it was the cutest, most uplifting thing I could have seen that day. Really and truly, it was really amazing to witness, well, to see her babies, and I was so very happy to have them in the house. So that experience was pretty painful for me, but I bounced back. I'm a bouncer, and I thought I bounced back. Yes, you. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope that you enjoyed the video, and thank you so much for coming to my page. So I would like for you to subscribe, and I also want you to watch the last video, and I hope that you enjoy everything on my channel. Thank you.